Good morning. This is Dylan Jovine with Behind the Markets. Happy Friday. Today is Friday, April 3rd. I'm grateful to be here with you today. You remember Andy Rooney, who used to be on 60 Minutes, that old curmudgeon who would, at the end of the show, would give like a 5-minute op-ed, kind of verbal op-ed on what he thought was right or wrong, and he kind of tried to be funny. I'm going to try to do a little bit Andy Rooney shtick today. A lot of people have asked me yesterday, what do you think about Trump's speech? Now the war with Iran is kind of back on, or he said that it's not going to be as short, or Iran refuses to capitulate at this point because they have levered us over the Strait of Hormuz. What do you think happens in the markets? I'm not arrogant or stupid enough to think that I can predict what happens in the markets. I can tell you that's a crazy person's job. That's just crazy business. What I can tell you is what history tells us happens. Now, Trump's different, but we'll talk about what do we know, okay? What we know is that usually when this country has gone to war, the market has sold off 20% or thereabouts in the lead up to war. Usually, now think back in the Iraq War II, Iraq War I, old man Bush and then young Bush, Bush 41, Bush 43, they actually spent the year trying to get the American public ready for war. Very, very important psychologically so that America gets ready for sacrifice. The market goes down like 20%, but what happens is after the war starts, it tends to rise about 24% in the 12 months after the war started. This is what the last 30, 35, 40 years of warfare has taught us in America. So it tends to go down while the president is getting the public ready for war because markets don't like uncertainty. But as soon as the actual shooting starts, the market goes up. 12 months later, the market's up. It doesn't go up the minute the shooting starts, but 12 months later, the market is higher than when the war started. So what's unique about this situation is that Trump has been propagandizing this war. Oh, it'll be 2 weeks, it'll be a month, it'll be 3 days, it'll be 5 days. And so it's like the American public is really, after the shooting starts, is getting an idea of what's happening here. So a lot of friends of mine say, well, you know what? The markets go up a year after a war starts. I'm like, we really didn't have that time where the president and his people go out and sell this to the public. If I had a gun to my head, I'd say probably more likely goes down or trends down, bias downward, risk off for a little while. You take that set of facts, and then you also have the other set of facts, as we discussed the other day. Some great companies are super, super cheap. So, Amazon hasn't been this cheap again since 2008, since the great financial crisis. It's unbelievable. NVIDIA, Meta, Microsoft, all these stocks are really, really cheap. A lot of great companies, and I'm just saying those three. There are plenty of other ones, biotech, Merck, Glaxo. There's all these biotech companies. They're just insanely cheap. It's really like a tale of two cities. The overall sentiment, I would imagine, history says that market's going to sell off, going to be a little light here, but really good companies that are really, really cheap are going to be scooped up by opportunistic investors. How do you not play it that way? How do you not play it that way? It's just one of those split screen scenarios. As far as what happens in Iran, my daughter had some of her friends over the other night, and they're kids, they're teenagers. They really don't understand a lot. And what struck me as I was talking to these kids is how little anybody under 40 knows about nuclear weapons, how dangerous nuclear weapons are. Their generation has been so focused on climate change that it's like they don't know, after the fall of the Soviet Union, they don't know how dangerous nuclear weapons are. They don't understand that nuclear non-proliferation. We grew up doing the drills. I grew up in a neighborhood where there were nuclear fallout shelters, duck and cover, routines, drills. We grew up like that. But these young kids, they think climate change is the big thing for them. They don't even know that nuclear war or weapons, how dangerous they really are. It's like they were not educated on this because, again, they grew up after the Soviet Union collapsed. It's like a whole generation doesn't understand that a nuclear weapon smuggled into Washington, D.C. could literally decapitate our entire government. Let's say during the State of the Union address. Boom. Or could have blown up New York on 9/11. The point is that they seem not to understand that when you have a regime that screams, we're going to kill you, death to America, the great Satan, that even if mutually assured destruction is in effect for the state, let's say Iran got nuclear weapons. Let's say the leaders of Iran, they said, you know what? We don't want to fire a missile anywhere because they'll just retaliate and destroy us. Even if the leaders said that, when you're dealing with Islamic fundamentalists, you're going to have a general who says, you know what, screw these great Satan guys. I'm going to smuggle this weapon to an Osama bin Laden type who has a plan to bring it up through one way secretly to get it into America, some, let's say, drug smuggling route from the Sinaloa cartel. And we'll get this nuclear weapon up and boom, decapitate Washington, D.C. Do you understand what happened if our entire government got decapitated? Probably civil war. Maybe generals would actually start to say, well, we're in charge, we're in charge, we're in charge, we're in charge. It's a whole thing. And I can imagine that there are a lot of countries, Russia, China, etc., that would like to see that happen. So the point of the matter is, you don't give radical fundamentalists nuclear weapons who are trying to attack everybody. We're so angry, attacking all their neighbors all the time. If you can stop that from happening, you stop it from happening. Look, we don't get to choose the challenges our generation gets. We don't get to choose them. They're thrust upon us. But it is incumbent upon our generation, in my view, to make sure that my kids don't grow up in a United States that has a nuclear bomb go off in New York or in Washington, D.C. Remember, you decapitate our government. Come on. This United States will not be the United States we've all known and come to love. Anyway, that's all I have. Have a wonderful weekend. I will see you Monday.